Hello, good day viewers. So in the last video we talked about the first question, so today we shall see the second question. From the circuit we are to determine the value of V0, and therefore we are to determine the current diode. So how can we determine these two values? So the first thing that I'm going to do, I will just take a look to this current and this resistance and this resistance. They are both in parallel, because it is the same thing as having having this, and therefore I'll have my voltage like this. So but you have to remember the source transformation. The source transformation, let me draw this circuit. I have this, and therefore I have I have this current in parallel to this. This resistance is parallel to this current, so therefore I have to apply the source transformation, 10 milliamps. So if I apply the source transformation, this is what I have current as current as 10 milliamps, and therefore the resistance as 2.2 kiloamps. So therefore V it is equals to V it is equals to IR. The current should now be 10 multiplied by the resistance, which is 2.2. So therefore this should now be 22 volts. So as you can see, I can delete this. I can delete this and say I have I have a voltage. The voltage, is it rising or dropping? So therefore it is it is rising. So therefore I'll have 22 voltage, and therefore I'll have again my resistance. I'll put the resistance that I multiplied by that I multiplied by 10 to get to get this 22 voltage. So therefore the resistance should now be 2.2 kilo ohm, and therefore the value of the diode, as you can see, the diode it is on or off. This diode it is it is on. So therefore I have to change I have to change the circuit. This as positive, and this as this as positive, and this as this as the negative. So the next thing that I'm going to do, let me just clean this. This is the same thing as this, and this is the same thing as this. So as we find the voltage using the source transformation, the next thing that we are going to do is that we have to first identify the diode current. How can I find the diode current? I have positive, I have negative. You have to recall this, that minus to positive, it is it is dropping. It is dropping, and therefore positive to negative, it is it is rising. As you can see, I have negative and I have positive. Negative to positive, it should now drop. Minus minus 22 volt. Positive to negative, it should now be Positive, it should now be rise. So plus 2.2, and therefore positive to Positive to negative, it will now rise. So therefore plus plus 0.7, and I have to come across, and therefore I have I have ID, which is which is the current. So therefore I have in each of it, or let me say, I have to say plus it will come across across here, but it will first go to go to this resistance. So therefore this should now be 2.2 multiplied by by ID, and should now be equals to should now be equals to 0. So the next thing that I'm going to do is that this and this I will now get minus 21.30. So this and this I will now get plus plus 4 ID, it is equals to 0. You have to know that in each resistance we have we have the current, we have current. So therefore I can say this this as as I can set it as 2.2 ID, and therefore again the resistance 2.2 ID. If I sum them, it will now be 4.4 ID, which is the current diode. So this is the same thing as saying 4.4 ID should now be equals to, when the negative 21.3 cross the equal sign, it will now be 21.3. If I divide both sides by 4.4, this will cancel this. So therefore the diode current should now be 21.3 divided by 4.4. 21.3 divided by 4.4 should now give me If I say it's 21 4.3 divided by 4.4. This should now give me what? 4.8 what? 4.84 milliamps. So therefore the diode current should now be what? 4.84 milliamps. So the next thing is the voltage. The voltage out, the V out. So therefore I have to say that this V naught, when this V naught rise, so therefore the resistance will drop, so it will now be negative 2.2 what? ID should now be equal to the source of ground, which is 0. So if I say this V naught should now be equals to 2.2 what? ID, so therefore the V naught should now be what? 2.2 multiplied by the ID, which is this, so 4.8 what? 84 milliamps. The V out should now be what? If I say that 2.2 multiplied by 4.84 milliamps should now be what? Should now be 10.6 what? 0.65 voltage. So therefore the voltage should now be 10.65. So this is all I have for you for the second question. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. So let's meet in the third question.